U.S. city bans snowball fights. Having snowball fights is one of the great pleasures of a cold winter. However, if you visit the American city of Wausau, do not get caught with a snowball in your hand. Wausau is situated in the state of Wisconsin, in the northern part of the United States. Due to its location, the city sees a lot of snowfall every winter. Believe it or not, snowball fights are banned in Wausau. Its city officials say the ban is in the interest of public safety. They say hard snowballs could injure people or damage public property. Besides Wausau, very few U.S. cities have restrictions regarding snowball fights. One town, Severance, was convinced to lift its 100-year-old ban in 2018. So far, however, the city officials of Wausau have made no moves to do the same.
Screening limit for films. Winter is a great time to go to movie theaters. However, unless you wish to see a major blockbuster movie, you may not be able to see the film of your choice. That is because a small number of popular films may be dominating almost all the screens at your local theater. To solve this problem, some people are asking for a screening limit to be set for movies. This policy would put a cap on the number of screens that one movie can be shown on at the same time. It would prevent just a few movies from taking over all the theater screens. These people say they want to have more choices when they go to see a movie. However, this is not possible when almost all the screens are showing the same handful of popular movies. So, a screening limit on films will make sure that moviegoers can decide for themselves. Also, these people argue that makers of smaller films sometimes need help to compete against blockbuster movies. By setting a screening limit for all films, these filmmakers will always have the opportunity to show their movies in the theaters. In the long run, this will help to encourage more filmmakers and maintain diversity in films. On the other hand, there are those who argue against having a screening limit. They say that blockbuster movies dominate theaters because the majority of people want to see these films. However, if theater owners are forced to show other films, they will lose out on the opportunity to sell tickets. Furthermore, these people say that there are now many options available to see smaller films in high quality. For example, people can stream movies through websites or purchase DVDs or digital files. Given these options, there is really no need to place artificial limitations on movie theaters.
Emoji faces added to license plates. License plates for cars ordinarily contain letters and numbers. Some countries occasionally allow drivers to choose vanity plates, which have unique words or phrases. Now some places are going to the next level with emoji license plates. Last year, an Australian state became the first to legalize emoji license plates. Now an American state is considering the concept as well. With these license plates, drivers can choose from 5 variations of emoji faces, along with letters and numbers. For example, people can use a laughing or winking face, or even one with heart-shaped eyes. The idea has drawn mixed reactions. Supporters believe these plates let people express their creativity. They also suggest emoji faces are memorable and easy to identify. Opponents, however, think these plates could distract other drivers. They also say that the emoji faces are more difficult to distinguish than letters and numbers.
Bear costumes scare monkeys. Around 2,000 monkeys live near Sikandarpur, a village in India. Unfortunately, these monkeys regularly attack the villagers, especially children. Catching the monkeys proved difficult, so the villagers came up with a novel solution. Instead of seizing and removing the monkeys, the villagers scare the monkeys away. Each day, several villagers dress up in bear costumes and chase after monkeys that enter the village. The menacing outfit makes the monkeys run for dear life. The strategy works so well that other places in India are using it now too. For example, one airport now hires people to dress up as bears and scare away monkeys. Although the strategy works well for removing monkeys, it has one drawback. Reportedly, dogs in the village also become nervous and chase after the people in the bear costumes.
Why we procrastinate. Let's say you have an assignment that you need to finish. But instead of working on it, you look at your smartphone or find other small tasks to distract yourself. Pretty soon, an hour has passed and you are still procrastinating. Almost everyone has been in this situation at some point. Most people believe such behavior to be a problem of time management. Therefore, the argument goes we will stop procrastinating once we learn to schedule our time better. However, many psychologists now say that procrastination is not a problem of time management. Instead, they propose that procrastination is fundamentally about managing one's negative emotion. According to the psychologists, we put off a task because we are feeling badly about it. Perhaps we find it boring or difficult. We may even be afraid of failing at the task. So we look for things that make us feel better and allow us to avoid the negative feeling even for a brief moment. This is one of the reasons that short, funny clips on YouTube have become so popular. Fortunately, experts say that there are some solutions to the procrastination dilemma. Most of them involve cultivating positive emotions during the mental battle. For example, psychologists advise that we treat ourselves kindly when we procrastinate or fail. Self-appreciation helps us become mentally stronger and better able to overcome procrastinating habits in the long run. Also, we should try to come up with fulfilling rewards for completing the task in the long term. This may allow us to give up the short-term enjoyment we get from watching a funny online video. "3D printed building sets record." Dubai has many impressive buildings. They include the 163-story Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world. Now it is also home to the world's largest 3D printed building. This building is a 2-story office space. An American architecture firm built it with a giant robotic 3D printer. It took just 2 weeks to build the space. Moreover, only 15 people participated in the project. One watched the printer, while others installed building parts and electrical components. The cost of the entire project was surprisingly low. The project took place outdoors in a hot, sandy region of Dubai. This environment proved that the 3D printer could work in harsh settings. The government of the Middle Eastern country has big plans for this technology. Officials hope to use 3D printers to construct a quarter of all structures in Dubai by 2030. In fact, researchers even think 3D printers could one day build homes on Mars.
Ring found overseas after 47 years. Deborah McKenna in the United States received an unexpected surprise recently. A ring that she had lost 47 years ago suddenly showed up in her mailbox. The ring held special meaning to the middle-aged woman. McKenna's late husband gave it to her in 1973, but somehow she lost it. Seeing the ring again shocked McKenna. What's more, the ring was contained in an envelope along with a friendly letter from a stranger. The note read, "Hello from Finland." It turned out that a Finnish man named Marko Saarinen had found the ring in a forest. Using a metal detector, he discovered the ring under 20 centimeters of soil. Saarinen noticed an engraving on the ring. He then used the internet to track down the ring's owner. No one knows how the ring ended up 7,700 kilometers away in Finland. Regardless, its journey home shows how thoughtful people can be. Company boasts moldy hamburger. Ordinarily, advertisements try to make their products attractive. However, one company recently tried a very different approach. Burger King is a global fast food restaurant chain. Its new ad shows a disgusting version of the company's signature hamburger, the Whopper. In it, the burger is seen decomposing for 30 days. By the end, the product is covered in mold. Burger King said it wanted to prove that its hamburgers were made with natural ingredients. If the burgers had contained many unnatural preservatives, they would not have become so moldy, the company argued. The advertisement gained a great amount of attention on social media in the United States. Some people complimented the marketing campaign for its refreshing approach to the topic. Others, however, said the unappetizing burger simply turned them off.
Tuneless choirs encourage singing. Are you a terrible singer but still love to belt out a tune? Well, there may be a choir just for people like you. Tuneless choirs are a growing phenomenon in the United Kingdom. They are composed of people who consider themselves to be tone deaf. Some have even had an embarrassing experience while singing in public. But these singers did not give up despite their supposed lack of musical ability. Now, they are finding strength through these new choirs. Tuneless choirs have popped up throughout the UK. They meet weekly to practice and even hold concerts. They choose popular songs that can be easily sung in large groups. This is about participation, not performance, one choir member said. Everyone should feel comfortable using their voice.
Blind hiring. These days, more and more companies are practicing blind hiring. This is a process in which a job candidate is judged only by the skills and experience that are relevant to the position. For this to take place, all other identifiable details are removed from a job candidate's application so that they do not influence the recruitment process. These details can include name, gender, education, age, and personal interests. Many companies prefer to use the blind hiring process. They say that it ensures that the best person is consistently chosen for the job. That is because the recruiters are not distracted by qualities irrelevant to the position. Instead, the recruiters can be confident that they are judging candidates strictly based on merit. Many job applicants also support the use of blind recruitment. They say that details such as age and education too often lead to bias among recruiters. As a result, some qualified candidates will get discriminated against, and the hiring process will lose its objectivity. On the other hand, some companies are skeptical that blind hiring would lead to better results. Rather, they say that personal details are important in assessing the character and personality of a candidate, along with his or her technical skills. By dismissing these personal details, recruiters could choose a person who may be highly qualified and yet still be the wrong person for the job. In addition, some people believe that there is always going to be some amount of subjectivity when evaluating someone. This is only natural since recruiters are human and have their preferences. So, these people argue that it is better to be honest and upfront about these biases instead of pretending that a hiring process is truly objective.